So you have this sprawling conglomerate, and one man comes in and completely transforms it into a global powerhouse. That man is Ratan Tata, a name that means innovation, deep-seated ethics, and a vision that really put India on the world map. Okay, let's get into the story of a leader who didn't just reshape a company, but an entire nation's corporate identity.
This quote right here, I think it tells you everything you need to know about the man. It just sets the stage perfectly for a kind of leadership that was driven by something way bigger than just the bottom line. It was about purpose, really.
And that's exactly what we're going to dig into. Yeah, he took an Indian company and made it a global giant. But if you think this story is just about the money, you're in for a surprise. It's this incredible mix of huge ambition and a rock-solid commitment to his principles.
All right, so to really get what he pulled off, you have to picture what he was walking into back in 1991. The Tata Group, it wasn't the slick, unified machine we see today, not even close. It was, well, kind of messy. More like a bunch of powerful kingdoms all doing their own thing.
Just look at this contrast. It's night and day, right? Before 91, the main company, Tata Sons, barely had any control. We're talking tiny stakes, like 4 to 8%. You had Tata companies literally competing against each other. So his first huge job was just to get everyone on the same page, under one brand, and playing by the same rules, the Tata Code of Conduct.
Okay, so once he managed to wrangle the empire at home, what's the next move? You go global. And he didn't just dip a toe in the water. No, this was about making big, bold moves that would shout the Tata name from the rooftops.
And this was the first big shot across the bow. In 2000, for $450 million, Tata Tea buys Tetley. You know, the famous British tea company. This was a huge statement. It basically said, hey world, an Indian company can not only play in your league, we can buy your legacy brands and run them well.
And then came the one that made everyone's jaw drop. $12 billion. That's what Tata Steel paid for the massive steelmaker Corus Group in 2007. This wasn't just a business deal. It was a power move that showed the whole world the kind of financial firepower the group was now packing. And as if that wasn't enough, just 1 year later, he pulls off maybe the most famous deal of them all. For $2.3 billion, Tata Motors buys Jaguar and Land Rover from Ford. I mean, two of the most iconic British brands on the planet. You can really see the strategy here. Buy world-famous brands to instantly get a global footprint.
So when you look at this table, you see it wasn't just random shopping. This was a calculated strategy. Tea, steel, luxury cars, each acquisition was a chess move designed to make a Tata company a major global force in its own right.
And what was the result of all this? We'll take a look at this chart. In just a few years, more than 65% of the Tata Group's money was being made outside of India. He didn't just take the company global, he completely changed where its center of gravity was.
But here's the thing about Ratan Tata. His vision wasn't just about buying up big companies and making money. He was just as focused on using innovation to solve real-world, uniquely Indian problems. And he did it with a ton of empathy.
It all started with a question, a really simple but powerful one. How can millions of Indian families get around safely and affordably? He'd see these entire families, mom, dad, kids, all balanced on a single scooter, often in the pouring rain. And he thought, that's not just a transportation problem, that's a safety problem, it's a dignity problem.
And his answer was this, the Tata Nano. It was this incredible, almost crazy dream to build a people's car for just 1 lakh rupees. That was about $2,500 back then. The idea was to finally make a real car something that millions of people could actually afford.
And the Nano, well, it became the ultimate example of what we now call frugal innovation. It's this genius idea of doing more with less. You strip out all the fancy, non-essential stuff to deliver the core product at a price point that seems impossible. It was a true marvel of engineering, born from a social need.
But look, no leader's story is all sunshine and roses. Ratan Tata's legacy faced its biggest, most public test, not when he was in charge, but actually after he retired. And it was a dramatic fight for the very soul of the company.
This timeline, it lays out a pretty messy story. The transition was supposed to be smooth, but in 2016, his hand-picked successor, Cyrus Mistry, is suddenly fired by the board. Ratan Tata actually comes back as the temporary chairman, and what follows is this nasty public legal war that drags on for years. I mean, this was a huge shock. A company known for being so stable and dignified was suddenly airing all its dirty laundry, and its famous governance was suddenly under a massive microscope.
And when you boil it all down, it was really about this, a total clash in philosophy. Ratan Tata's style was about the long game, the vision, supporting all the companies in the group like a family, even the ones losing money. Mistry, on the other hand, was a pragmatist. His focus was on the bottom line, cut the unprofitable businesses and double down on the cash cows. It was really a battle between legacy and pure financial logic. And a chart like this, it kind of gives you a peek behind the curtain. These huge decisions about vision versus profits, they don't happen in a boardroom vacuum. They happen in this intense, pressure cooker world of corporate finance, where every single number is being watched and the demand to deliver results is just relentless.
But even with all that drama, when you step back and look at his entire career, you realize Ratan Tata's true legacy, it might not be the billion-dollar deals or the famous car. It might just be his absolute, unshakable commitment to the core values that the Tata Group was built on.
I love this quote. If you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk together. That says it all, doesn't it? For him, it was never about the quick win. It was always about building something that would last. And you just can't do that alone. You have to bring people with you.
And it's not just a nice saying. That entire philosophy is written down right here in the Tata Code of Conduct. He made this the Bible for the whole group. It's a rule book that puts things like ethics, integrity, and social good right at the heart of the business. Not as an afterthought, but as the main event.
Man, get this. This shows you just how serious they are about it. It's not just words on paper. It's baked into the very structure of the company. Over 60% of the parent company is owned by charitable trusts. Think about that. The profits from this global empire go right back into funding schools, hospitals, and art across India.
And for that incredible combination, building a global business machine while also being a massive force for social good, Ratan Tata received the Padma Vibhushan, one of the highest honors an Indian citizen can get. It was a recognition that he wasn't just a CEO, he was a nation builder.
So, at the end of the day, the story of Ratan Tata really makes you think, doesn't it? He built a global empire, sure, he created game-changing products, but through it all, he was guided by this unwavering set of values. And it leaves us with this big question. What's the real measure of a leader's legacy? Is it the size of the empire, the coolness of the products, or is it the character and the values they weave into the DNA of an organization?